Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 1.5 Dev Insight. I'm Evil Mojo Alyssa, and here with me today I have Garrett Martini.
Evil Mojo.
Evil
Martini.
Mojo. Evil Mojo Martini. Excuse me. How are you doing today, Garrett?
Really good, actually.
Good.
And super excited to talk about some of the upcoming stuff we're working on.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the 1.5 patch. We have a lot to show you, but to kick it off, we are going to be showing a new skin for everyone's favorite Church of Grover, Grobot. Maybe.
Possibly.
All right.
We can talk about it.
We can
It's
talk
pretty
about
free.
There we go.
Boom.
Boom.
There we go.
There he is.
So
Oh
right
my
off the bat,
gosh.
this is quite the departure from your standard woodland friend.
It is. He's looking fierce.
Yeah, I think the premise for this bad boy was that actually he is kind of turned on its head and that he is like a robot meant to take down force instead of lift
I
one.
see.
Vegetation extraction protocol active. Why are there so many plants? This must be fixed. If I cut down a forest, does it make a sound? My protocol does not call for humor.
Dude, look at that.
Now, listen here, you sapling. You are in need of a trim. Bite my metal butt. Nature is obsolete. Idle loop 1 activated. Spring has come. These spirits do not rest. Power down. Will I dream of electric sheep?
So he's pretty deadly.
Now listen here, you sapling.
I love the little potted plant on his head, though.
Dude, that was an ad late in the game I heard that has turned out to be pretty freaking awesome.
That is super cute. And so, I mean, he's cutting down the forest. He has turned on his own.
Yeah, but it's probably like a revegetation effort, right?
Right.
Like he's got to clear it out. It's overgrown. Allow some new vegetation to grow.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not malicious.
All right, so you will be able to get this Grover skin through the diamond chest in 1.5.
Ooh, that new talent coming into play there.
Jump.
That ricochet. Oh, he says jump. That's awesome.
Oh, definitely a different look for our favorite.
Yeah, new sounds too. If you're
Tree.
listening, very metallic. Pretty cool.
These spirits do not rest.
I love
the VFX on that one. That's good.
dude, and it's like this kind of text-to-speech style, friendly AI. That's awesome. That is probably the best woohoo. See, robots, they don't really understand the emotion behind woohoo.
Yeah.
So he just kind of read it. But you guys understand, right? He's a robot.
Awesome. Okay, well, again, Grobot is going to be available in the diamond chest, but that's not the only skin we have for you. Introducing Xenobuster Ash.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this one is really cool. 16-year-old Garrett, all about the alien, or other brands that look similar.
That is not. I think I see Terramorph Drogos.
That is
right there.
absolutely Terramorph
Yep,
Drogos.
in the right-hand corner.
And she looks like she's kitted up and ready to go on some, colonial expeditions, investigate some decrepit space hulks, maybe respond to a distress signal, and she's ready to go.
Listen up, privates. I've only got one rule. Everyone fights, and if you don't do your job, I'll finish you off myself.
Ow.
I heard you got a bug problem? I'm here to exterminate it. Wanna hear a joke? Too bad! This is a battlefield! There's no laughing until every enemy is in the ground. Think
Dude,
you're
look at the
tough?
VFX.
I've seen roaches twice your size. There aren't dangerous weapons, just me and whatever I decide to end you with. Killing you is gonna be like squashing a bug. Lift those boots and get moving! You best get back to the battlefield, soldier. I'll handle this! Come on! Let's fight!
Man,
I love that skin.
I didn't think it was possible for her to get more aggro. She's already a tough nut to
She's
crack.
mad.
Yeah.
She is very mad. So this skin is going to be available in the deep space chest. We're going to go into game here in just a second. But I love the flag on her back in particular.
My favorite part is those like concentric like blue rings that go down the barrel of the gun. Those are super cool and are also carried into like the explosion VFX as well.
So imagine if you had this skin on Ashe and Terramorph Drogos in the same game on opposite teams.
We should make it happen.
Alrighty, so we're going into game to show you Xenobuster Ashe now.
5, 4.
Oh, I hadn't
3,
even.
2,
Dude, okay, so I hadn't even heard the sound yet, and Noah, those sounds dope, dude. That's like orbital artillery. Wow. Okay, Ashe mains.
And it's been a while since Ashe has gotten a new skin. Right?
Yeah, the last one was like the Ronin kind of samurai
yeah,
style.
so it's been quite a while since that one.
This one is definitely a big
Our girl
departure.
deserved a new skin.
Oh, that Foley too? That sounds gorgeous, man. Nice job.
I would be scared if I saw her coming at me from the other team. To be honest, I would probably run the other way.
And there's like the weathering at the end of the barrel. That's super cool. And then like the supercharged version on the knockback ability. Oh my gosh. It feels really powerful. That's legit. Well, guys, I'm super excited to see this. Like, she's being picked up too in the PPL. We saw her get picked.
Yeah.
That was exciting. Man. And she sounds great.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! All right, Xenobuster Ashe will be available in the deep space chest in 1.5. So that's all the skins we have for you today, but we are not done, not by a long shot. We've got a lot more to talk about. So next, we have a new Q flow system coming in 1.5. Garrett, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The overarching theme, guys, is just to kind of tune up some legacy pieces of our game that really serve no purpose. So what we've done to get you guys into matches playing faster, trying to smooth things out, is in multiple parts. So first off, you're no longer gonna have to accept a queue to like go into a game. I can't tell you how much frustration like is built up around people just like waiting as that bar goes down, and then it's like, oh, the last guy, like, come on, and it's like, homie just went to get like a sandwich. Like, he drops in queue and he's like, I want some ham and cheese, man. And then he just ruins like a game or a period of time for like 9 other folks. So you can just, now it's very similar to many other shooters where you just hit play. You're going to get yanked into the character select lobby when the match is ready to go. So just less time between your menu experience and getting you in and actually playing Paladins. And then once in the lobby, the next component of this is that if players do not pick a champion, like, we're gonna auto select a champion for them. So again, we know things come up while you're in queue, and we're actually doing this intelligently. So it's gonna look at your team comp. So if players don't necessarily pick, and you've got 3 damages and a support, it's gonna be like, oh, let's just auto pick this guy or girl on the front line. Yeah, no, it should go a really long way. And obviously this is based on the characters you have available, things like that. These functionalities are not present for ranked, by the way. So ranked is still the traditional format back. There's a little bit more cognitive kind of buy-in when you go into that. So you're like, yes, I'm going to accept this queue because I'm signing up for a slightly longer amount of time. No, it's not going to auto-pick me these champions because ranked draft is also very different than the just like general draft. And then, so we're kind of bookending it too, right? So it was beginning match, character picking, and then at the end of the match also, just for like removing the amount of steps required to like just play another game, right? We're just gonna, so now when you exit a match, you're gonna be just kind of in a queue. When you're playing in like a quick play now, you're just gonna be in a constant queue. So you can opt out by just clicking like I don't want to play again, right? But now just automatically after exiting a match, we're gonna just immediately dump you back into matchmaking.
This is a huge quality of life change, and I think it's going to mean a lot less waiting around for a lot of players, and you don't have to stay glued to, you know, the PC to see, you know, when the queue pops. You'll just automatically be queued. Even
in internal testing, it's been super convenient, super awesome. We're getting a lot of feedback as we kind of expand our audiences and the platforms that we're on around a little bit of just some flow clunkiness. So these are some steps in order to solve it.
All right. Awesome. That's not all. This is a huge feature that console players have been asking for. We are introducing console reporting in 1.5. I see all you guys on Twitter tweeting me asking for a reporting function. Well, you got it now. In 1.5, you will be able to report other console players.
Yep. So it's going to be bound to a face button, and you can take action against these players that maybe were AFK or ruining your match for another reason. But obviously, we love to promote well-behaved players in our game, so this is a way to kind of keep the moral sanctity of our title just stronger going forward.
Alrighty, next, going into balance. So as you guys know, PPL just started. We're still analyzing the meta, wanting to see how it shifts. We also just had our mid-season balance patch, so we don't have an extreme amount of balance in this patch, but we do have a couple of big items. So the first one, very highly requested, Moji's hitbox has been decreased. Garrett, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we fixed the issue, we fixed the issue that was making this hitbox larger than intended. Players were experiencing navigation issues, moving their collision in and around the map. Obviously, this isn't something that we desired to do, right? Like, we're never like, let's make it really tough to move around our environments. So fortunately, we've fixed that for you guys, so it's now smaller, and you should be a little bit harder to hit for our Moji players, and also far easier to navigate. We got a couple more changes too,
Yeah,
I believe.
next, Grok's ult is going to be a little bit easier to steer.
Okay, yeah. This was, so obviously we were definitely surging with power last patch, and there's a lot of focus on our boy in blue, and really positive reception, guys. And it's even reflected in all of the metrics, like Grok is being played far more. So we're happy that you guys are happy with the changes, but we can be better. So what we've done is typically really the only negative component of the Grok feedback was around the steerability of his ultimate. So we have basically increased the navigational properties to not be as like sluggish or determined. Obviously, when you have a character that can just fly via camera direction for like 5 or 6 seconds, he isn't quite a flank right, so this isn't like soar level of steerability. However, it was probably far too restrictive on the initial launch. So you're gonna be accelerating. You can change your camera angle more and turn faster, move quicker, get off the ground faster, and just generally be a better all-around experience for Mr. Grok.
Awesome, and we've also got quite a few bug fixes in this patch. Garrett, do you want to go over a few of the high-ticket items?
Yeah, we can do that. Let me boot up my mobular device. Yeah, okay, so some of the most notable ones to our competitive scene specifically there is a talent for Bomb King that modifies the radius of Grumpy Bomb. It is interacting poorly with the client server replication, and basically like the distanced proximity indicator for this wasn't a really super easy problem to solve. However, we've allocated some time, and now like if that thing is yellow, like or red, like it should behave as you would expect. So there should be no more discrepancies. And apologies to your Bomb King players that maybe wanted to play this in the competitive scene and weren't able to, but give it a go. We should be in a good state now. Also fixed an issue with Khan where the Overlord skin, his ultimate voice line, wasn't playing. Sound is a really big part of our game, so we have to be super stringent on kind of what's heard, what's not heard, especially when we're skinning things. So fix this up. It should be a lot better feedback. And then small issue with Strix, right? He had an issue where he could like pick up the key sphere in Dragon's Call, but no longer able to stealth while also doing that. So people were frustrated with that. Our apologies, but overall the Dragon's Call mode seems like everyone's having a really good time in it.
It's a ball.
Oh my goodness, Alyssa.
Sorry.
Can't take her anywhere. Can't take her anywhere.
Alrighty, so that's just a few of the bug fixes we have. We've got quite a few more. The patch notes will be up right after this show on paladins.com, so be sure to check them out. But next, we've got a Q&A. So we had a submission forum earlier this week where you guys could submit your questions, and we've got a bunch of good ones. So to kick us off, Hindart asks, is it possible to get separate balancing for console and PC? Koga is an example of how things work differently on both systems.
So yeah, we do. So there are differences between our platforms. However, none that are egregious that really require heavy-handed per-platform balancing. Koga specifically, I think we're experimenting with some tweaks right now for both populations. Not targeted specifically because it's egregious in one. There are some quality of life things and ease of use things, just playscape things that we believe are going to be improvements for both environments. If there are specific examples, I am all ears. You can tweet at me, and I will communicate this to any of our designers or myself. But Koga isn't really he isn't a problem in regards to being super super strong. He's a flank character, so he's got a lot of risk versus reward guys. Like all of our flanks are kind of occupy the same spot, and traditionally flanks are usually in the public eye, generally the things that are pointed at as being semi-contentious, like, oh, this flank with all this mobility or this lethality is too strong or it's too safe. They have too much lethality versus how safe they are. Typically with Koga, it's usually around basically the dash and turn with his resource-based system, which is very effective. At the same time, he does have things working against him for that. But obviously, we are always looking to improve the quality of their game. However, Koga is a very successful champion release for us. Players are loving him. You're playing the heck out of him, and he is something that we are looked to kind of model in the future for how he builds similar champions. Hopefully, being able to remove any of these frustrating elements. So, let me know what you guys think on Koga specifically. If he is an outlier in terms of what you think a flank in Paladins needs to be or deserves to be. But right now, we're not planning any big changes for him.
All right, we've got a couple questions about the new queue flow system in chat. So how long before it re-queues you after a match?
So our average wait time, I think on actually it varies per region, per whatever. However, you're looking at like 30, 40, 50 seconds. The re-queue initially, I think it's either gonna drop you in instantly to matchmaking. So you should be able to get back to back if that's something you're interested in. We might also be experimenting with like a 5 or 10 second cooldown too, but
Okay.
it's pretty minimal, guys. Like really, what playing Paladins now is just going to be like, I'm just here to play. And if you want to opt out, you just have to take that action to opt out instead of having to just go and like click 3 things to get into a game every single time. Now
Right.
it's just like you're here and you can just kind of flow. So it's cool.
What happens if you want to add someone to your party in between games?
You would go about it the same way you do now. I believe adding someone to your party would remove you from the queue. So you need to re-queue if you want to play with that person.
All right. Next, Fiendy Fire asked, can you provide an update on the status of gyro controls for the Switch version? So we talked a little bit about this yesterday during our community manager stream, but we have a gyro prototype now, and it is in development, and it's slotted for an upcoming patch.
Yeah. I would look to any of our near future releases. Anything with these controls takes a decent amount of time and testing, just because this is how all of your players on this or a majority of your players on this platform want to interface with it. The platforms that have this technology, it's something that is widely asked for. So we hear that, and we just want to do it right for you guys. We're actually testing today, specifically with the Switch, with the nunchucks detached plus gyro controls. That is crazy.
Oh my God.
Like, if you do that and you do that successfully, my hat is off to you because that is impressive. But I was able to acclimate to it a little bit more when it was like rigid on the mains attached to the screen. But we're working on it, guys, and we want it to feel really good.
All right, Purple Panda Nerd asks, will we ever see a roster of all races or species within the realm, like humans, elves, tigrans, fae, squadron, and all of that?
I hope so. Like, if we can make it to that point in time, this is the bucket list, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we are limited via resources, via how many champions we can make. All of our products need to be top tier, so we can't just kind of do a character specifically to be like, yeah, now we need. Actually, I was almost. we've planned very far in advance, and I almost just. Okay, we're good. We're good.
No
So,
spoilers.
yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers. But yeah, if we had a race right now, and we're maybe planning doing a race of that character next year, we're not doing it solely to do it because it's like, oh, we need another X, right? It's got to line up with our narrative that we have planned. It's got to line up with the gameplay requirements, and we have to have like a really solid hook visually and gameplay-wise for it too. But that is the goal. If we can have enough characters so that you can fill out your roster of every race, should you be that something you want to do, then I can't wait till we get to that stage.
All right, Mephistia asks, in a matter of lore, not in-game abilities, can Ceres resurrect people?
You know, she's kind of like this power conduit for the Abyss, right? So I imagine she could do anything the Abyss really wanted her to do, given if she could like channel and focus enough of its energy. So specifically, there is no documented things in her backstory currently, at least, where she's resurrecting people. But I wonder, are you theory crafting, or like I wonder where this is coming from?
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe we've got some theory crafting going on. I feel like the Abyss, instead of resurrecting someone, would probably want to bring them back as like an undead warrior for them.
Wow, how topical. Very very accurate.
Anyways, Leonard on PC asks, how was the Halloween event?
How is the Halloween event?
How is the Halloween event?
You know what's good? It's good, Leonard.
Good.
It's real good.
It's a lot of fun. We've been playing it.
Yeah, no,
No,
we're doing some cool stuff, guys. Halloween is one of our favorite times of the year. And specifically, compared to like all of our other holidays, we see the most player engagement and activation around Halloween.
Yeah.
I think it's just something about you guys. You just like spooky things. You know what? We like spooky things too.
We love spooky things. Alrighty, Andre Barros 308 asks, will there ever be a second way to get a vault key?
I think so. I think that what he's really asking is, can I get a second vault key for like the current event?
Right, for the current vault.
So that answer is no. This by design was structured so that the final reward unlock, typically before in our previous events, was like, hey, you buy these 3 skins and then you get this one free. And we engineered the vault key in this one, in the Dragon's Call event, to occupy the purpose of, okay, you want that unlock, right? But maybe you don't play the character that unlock skin is for. So we wanted to give you the option to kind of go outside of that rigid character or class and choose another potentially valuable skin. And I believe this one was the Siege of Ascension Peak skins and also Rave Maeve that were in there. So we felt that those were very valuable, and it sounds like they are, and they're also scarce, right? Which is why people are asking for them. But unfortunately, no, it is a limit to 1 key for this event. However, the nature of our games and how we structure these things is that, guys, there will be opportunities to get those skins in the future, and there will be more opportunities for vault keys in the future. And hopefully, you guys can get the skins you want.
All right, chat wants to know about the Sky Rework. We've talked a little bit about this. We've teased a little bit about it. When's it happening, Garrett?
She looks real good.
She looks real good.
See, I want to make sure that if I say it's coming out on a date, it's actually coming out on that date. I can tell you that it is in our development client, and it looks really freaking good and is basically visually done. So I think what we're waiting on likely is the right time to do it, which is going to be soon. And I know that's not the greatest of answers. I did want to clarify though that this on first pass is going to be not a kit rework. I know I've seen rumors of like, oh, they're gonna rework her, or she's not gonna have stealth, or they're changing her ultimate, or she's got a gun now, or something like that. And it's not the case. Her goal for her rework was definitely visually based. We wanted to kind of bring her in line more with our direction for what it means, kind of this tech in the realm, her place in the narrative, how she's relating to Zin and Koga, right? Might have even seen a teaser for her in that material that was released for those characters that I just mentioned. But she's looking real good, guys, and hopefully she'll be in your hands soon.
Yeah, and it still looks like Sky. Her face is the same. It's just a much more lore-friendly look for her. She looks super badass and cool. I mean, what more can you want? So.
Yeah.
All right, next, Xeno000 asks, will we ever see crouch added in-game?
So early on in development, we were talking about this. I think typically, okay, so a general crouch, likely no. For certain characters, it's not needed, doesn't play into their kits. I could foresee us releasing characters or updating past characters with the ability to crouch. But generally, when you add additional functions like this, it kind of messes with control schemes. This game is built pretty strictly on its existing one currently. So the keys, where they're located on keyboards or controllers, right? Those are all pretty set. However, I've been playing traditional shooters where crouch is a big part of it for a long time. So I don't want to say no. But what I'd like to say is that if we do it, it's got to be on the right character, and it's got to be done right. So I don't have plans for this in the near future. And typically, based on how our game is paced and is played, there's not an overt need for it. But it is nice to have, and it is something that a lot of people coming into a shooter kind of expect. So I'd love to be able to satisfy that eventually.
All right, Neck Granite asks, can you please make frames or some symbols which will show the rank of a player?
Right. So we originally obviously had something that depicted in real time where someone was in terms of their placements. Unfortunately, there was a lot of negatives to that system in that it didn't accurately depict, because someone could qualify and be behind the scenes like he has an MMR of like a Grandmaster, and then places multiple levels below it, just because that's how placements work, right? And then it's getting queued against people that are then seeing one border when really it's a player skill of a vast another. And also we wanted to move to a format without the portrait frames, specifically to do what we've proven and tested well in Smite, which is doing a season border, which, by the way, actually, okay, so we may actually have some previews that we can show you guys. I don't have assets here on the show, unfortunately, but we actually just finished the season frames for this season, and they look really freaking cool. So that's what we want to have be that signifier of player skill, which is your highest achieved rank in a season, and those will be giving out at the end of that season. So that's what you should be shooting for if you want to display your skill via something like a loading frame or a portrait frame. That's how you're going to be able to do it.
All right, next, Sisactron asks, can Paladins be an anime?
Yeah.
That'd be super cool. Actually, a lot of people in the community have created like Paladins anime openings.
Those are, yeah.
And
I love those.
they are sick. They are so
Who would be the
awesome.
protagonist, though? And would this be like a shonen anime, or would this be like super
shoujo,
gritty?
shonen, romantic, action? Let us know in chat what kind of anime you'd like to see. What kind of Paladins anime?
Yeah, who would be the main character and the villain?
Yeah. Alrighty, that is all we've got for you today. To get all of the details on Grobot, Xenobuster Ash, the new Q flow system, console reporting, balance, and bugs, head over to paladins.com, and the patch notes will be up in just a few moments. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tonight, throw that thing from left, right, side to side. Yeah. All my friends are here, playing my favorite song right on top. Yeah. And we never stop. Music bumping, we just keep on rolling. Yeah. No, we never stop. Shake, shake, shake.